guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today to introduce a very special build. This is going to be the next big project on the channel. I'm working in cooperation with the Midwest Fiero Club, and we're going to be building a special Fiero model for the winner of their auction held last month. This Fiero will be something that's completely personalized to the winner. It won't just be a model of a Fiero, it will be their Fiero. And we have a lucky winner, and that winner's name is Greg Peters. He's got a really interesting story to go along with his car, and it's going to be a tribute to his father and something that he says will be kept as a family heirloom so that he will have something to remember his father, who sadly passed away from cancer. So we're going to get started on this build, and I'm going to try and fit in everything that Greg has requested into this small model, and we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that I can put everything that he wants into it. I'm certainly going to try. Greg, this one's for you, buddy. I'm going to make this hopefully everything that you hoped for. So let's take a look at what we're going to
Okay, guys, we're going to take a little trip right past my Fiero, and we are going to take a look at exactly what I'm going to be doing for Greg, or at least the beginning of it. Greg has a 1985 Pontiac Fiero GT, so that's what I'm going to be building. But Greg's specs are a little bit different than mine, or than stock. So that's what I'm going to be adding to the car to make it his car, or at least as much of it as I possibly can. So let me show you what we're going to start with. For Greg, I picked out a completely sealed, and just like it was when it was originally made, because I want him to have the most pristine Fiero model that I can build. So this one has never been opened, and as you can see here, it is from the original run from 1984. So Greg, if you're watching, you're getting the first run of these models, which means that this is where the tooling was new. The model will be at its most crisp. All the lines will be as straight as they could be because it was new tooling for the time. And the reprints where the toolings get worn out, I know they reissued the model a few years later, where the tooling gets worn out and then you start to get flash and all of that. You'll get none of that with this because this is the original first year of this kit. So I pulled this out of my stash as opposed to giving you one of the reissued ones, because I want you to have the best of the best as far as these models go. Okay guys, now before we get started with the build, we're going to go over a new feature that I plan on doing on all of my builds, in which case we're going to show you the entire timeline of this particular kit, which in this case is going to be very short, as this kit was only released twice. The first time was in 1984, which is the one that we're building here, which is an all new tooling for it. And then in 2004, it was re-released, including new decals, which I wasn't aware that the decals were different. Now I'm going to have to look at my 2004 release of this kit and see exactly what the difference is in the decals. Because as I remember, there weren't very many decals to begin with this kit. But you can see the boxes are a little bit different. The lighting in the background is different. But it appears to be a very similar, if not the same picture that was just touched up for the different box release. But you can see they moved the light source in the background. They lightened it up a little bit. And gave you a, or this could just be the photograph that they took for the timeline here on ScaleMates. So we can click here. Here we can get nice look at the box of the 1984 version. And then we'll take a good close-up look at the 2004 version. So I'm wondering if they just, yeah, it looks like they use the same original photograph, because if we look at the box, really interesting quirk of this thing is that this particular model, the 1985 Fiero GT, when this box was created and the box art was, the photo was taken for the box art. Let's just go back to the 84. Right, let's go here. We'll go back to the 84. Where are we? If we take a look at the box art, I can point out a couple of interesting items to those of you who are Fiero fans, and even those of you who aren't. Now, when we take a look at this box art, you can see here that the 85 Fiero GT did not come with a monochrome color scheme, such as this one. The aero kit on the bottom of the car was actually supposed to be a silver or a gray color. As you can see here, the panels on the door and on the fenders are red, and here they actually have it black. That is incorrect, as they should be a two-tone body on the car. Now, we also take a look at the mirrors. These mirrors are also completely wrong. The way I have to figure it is that this has to be a prototype of the model, but those mirrors are wrong, and they're not even included in the kit, as the kit brings the correct mirrors for the car. It does show the custom side scoops, which we won't be using, as I don't believe he has them on his car. But it does have the correct wheels, the Pontiac TurboTech rims, which we will also not be using, as we're going to be sourcing tires more closely resembling those of the 1988, 87 to 88 Fieros. The lace wheels that were on the fastback, as that's what he has on his car. So that's just a quick look at the history of the monogram 1985 Fiero GT kit. It's in 1/24 scale. They were all molded in red, no matter which version you buy. The 2004 tells you right there, molded in red, or the 1984. So they are identical kits, even though this one says it brings new decals. So now I'm going to have to see what the decal differences are. And really cool little bit that I just discovered on ScaleMates is that you can download the instructions. If you have one of these older kits and you've lost the instructions, you can just download them and get the entire assembly instructions here. And it's actually a little easier to see than it is on the regular sheet. And you can zoom in. Look at that. I actually kind of like that. Might be downloading the instructions to use as opposed to the paper copies. Although you can't really make notes on these, which is the fun part of the paper copy. Alright guys, well that's it for the history of the monogram Fiero GT 1985 Fiero GT model kit. Only two versions. One released in 1984, and then the second one in 2004. Alright guys, now we're gonna jump into the build, and all sorts of fun stuff coming up. This is gonna be a very special build, and you guys just come along for the ride, and we're gonna have some fun. I'll see you on the next one.